What's up, y'all? It's your girl, El Rochelle, here for Hardwood Divas. NFL Week 13 picks. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. First of all, I just want to say I am thankful for all of you. Thank you for continuing to watch. Thank you for telling everyone about it. Thank you for commenting and liking and subscribing. You guys are awesome. There would be no me without you, so I definitely give thanks for that. Now, football time. First at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. We've got the Packers versus the Lions over on Fox. I'm going with the Lions on this one. The Packers are going ahead and finally starting Matt Flynn. I know they had only picked him up a couple of weeks ago, but he did come in the game last week and actually did pretty well. But I'm still going to go with the Lions because I just think that they have a better chance of winning overall. They're just a more stable team. So going with the Lions. 1:30 p.m. We've got over on CBS, the Raiders versus my Dallas Cowboys. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. My husband, of course, wants the Raiders to win. This is going to be very interesting for us. But I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I just think they're overall a better team. So we will see. The battle of this O family is going to be won tonight, and we'll see who it is. 5:30 p.m. on NBC, we've got the Steelers versus the Ravens. Now, of course, this is that storied battle in the AFC. Problem is, neither of these teams is playing like the teams that actually made this very good. I'll go with the Steelers just because overall right now they're doing better. They're on more of a streak right now. Neither of these teams is very interesting personally to watch right now, but I'll go with the Steelers just because I think they can win. Sorry, Ravens. Sunday, 10 a.m. games. We got the Jaguars versus the Browns. I'm going with the Browns only because it's at home. Jags, well, y'all know how I feel about them. They didn't go with, they're not going to go with 16, but I still don't think they're a very good team. So I'm going to go with the Browns. Titans versus the Colts. Now, the Colts are just that team where they play different every time you watch them. It's just like nerve-wracking, especially since I have Andrew Luck as my quarterback for fantasy. He will do really horrible in the first half and then like make it up in the second half. Or, you know, they just lose to these teams that it just seems inconceivable how they could lose to them. They shouldn't lose to the Titans. They are at home. After Irsay made some comments on Twitter just about better expectations for his team, which I honestly think he has the right to do. Like, he can have a Twitter rant from time to time. Like, you put and invested your money in this team and they're not doing well, it makes sense. So I'm going to go with the Colts because hopefully that little Twitter rant lit a fire under them and they're going to do better. I really hope so. Because I don't want to have to put RG3 in for this week. I just don't want to. But going with the Colts. Come on, Andrew Luck. We've got the Cardinals versus the Eagles. Now, the Cardinals had a nice little win last week. Eagles have finally announced that Nick Foles will be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. Non-exciting news of the week. Well, not non-exciting, but non-surprising news of the week. We all knew this was coming. He's been playing very well since coming back off of his little injury and since replacing Michael Vick. I like what I see from Michael Vick and just understanding that, hey, you know, he is the backup. He knows that Nick Foles is doing a much better job right now. And I definitely think Michael Vick is seeing this turn in his career. He says he wants to play 3-4 more years. I think he understands that those 3-4 more years are going to be as a backup. He's not going to be anyone's starter anymore. His body just can't take it. But this is how you leave with grace. You know, kind of can go out in the sunset. He's a great player, and he should definitely be honored. People, he understands he got his job with the Philadelphia Eagles the same way Nick Foles got his. So I think the Eagles can win this game. I think the Eagles should win this game. I like the Cardinals, and I do want to see them be able to get in the playoffs. They would need a win versus the Eagles to help them do that, but I think the Eagles can definitely get this win. Cardinals don't always travel well, so, and it's cold. The difference between Phoenix and Philadelphia is huge. Trust. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. Dolphins versus the Jets. Both of these teams are perplexing. They're both 5-6 right now. I'm going to go with the Jets simply because it's at home. That's the only reason why. I don't really trust either of these teams at all. Just don't. So, going with the Jets. Yeah. Buccaneers versus the Panthers. Panthers. Yes, the Panthers. I like them. I think they do pretty well. They eked out, of course. That's what everyone wants to say. But the Panthers are good. They're a good team. They're a good, solid team. Cam Newton is playing great this year. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. Patriots versus the Texans. Don't like the Patriots, but the Texans aren't doing very well at all. So I'm going with the Patriots. Should be pretty good. Patriots in that Manning Brady Bowl last week. Yeah, that was really, really interesting to watch. Now, of course, I love Gronkowski because he's my tight end. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Very interesting. The wind chill definitely played a factor in that game because it was really tough for Peyton Manning to throw into the wind. Definitely made it very difficult for both teams. Of course, Brady did well in the second half, but it was an interesting game to watch. It is what it is. But I think this week the Patriots can go to Houston and beat the Texans. Bears versus the Vikings. The Bears better win. Seriously. Vikings and Packers didn't even want to win last week because they tied. Like, seriously? A tie? We ain't seen a tie in a while. But I don't see the Vikings doing well enough to beat the Bears. Though the Bears seem to lose games they should win often. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I just don't trust the Vikings at all. Our 1 p.m. slate of games, Rams versus 49ers. Now, the Rams did very well last week. 49ers did good. I'm going to go with 49ers on this one. It's in San Francisco. I just think they have a better chance of winning, especially when they're at home. And I'm starting to see them gelling, especially on offense. We're starting to see them work. We're starting to see Kaepernick be what we know he can be. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. Falcons versus the Bills. Bills are actually 4-7 in comparison to Falcons, 2-9? It's terrible. I'll go with the Bills. It's at home. I don't really have much to say on either of these teams. They're not great to watch. So I'll go with the Bills. Bengals versus the Chargers. Now, I like the Bengals, but I also like the Chargers. And I like what I'm seeing from the Chargers. They're kind of doing what they used to do back in the day, which is have that like late season charge. And I definitely believe they have the opportunity to go to the playoffs. So I think a win like this would definitely be helpful for them. So I'm going with the Chargers. They are doing really well. So I'm going to go with them. I like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has always been a quarterback that I liked. So I'm going to go with them. Broncos versus the Chiefs. I wrote Broncos as my pick. But as I wrote it, I still was like, but maybe the Chiefs. I just don't know. I'll go with the Chiefs because it's at home. And I'm still kind of iffy on the Broncos, mainly because I'm still kind of iffy on Peyton Manning. And how injured he still may be. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but honestly, they're both 9-2. This is, of course, a fight for the AFC West. Chiefs. Yes, Chiefs. That's what I'm going with. All right. In our evening game, 5:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Giants versus the Redskins. The NFC East Futility Fest, as I like to call it. Let's see. Giants. Redskins are horrible to watch, and they're just falling apart from the inside out. Shanahan needs to go. Yeah. It's just time to start over. RG3 clearly is your quarterback of the future, so you need to get rid of the coach and get a coach that can work well with this quarterback. So, going with the Giants on this one. Even though they got pounded. Okay, well, not exactly pounded, but my Cowboys beat them, and it was actually amazing. That late drive by that young Romo. I don't like him all the time, but times like this I do. When he makes an interception, I just need him to do well in December. Okay, sorry, we're talking about Cowboys. Giants, Redskins, Giants. Monday, Saints versus Seahawks. This is a game. The 10-1 Seahawks versus the 9-2 Saints. These are the top two teams in the NFC. I'm going to go with the Saints for one reason. Because I know that the Seahawks do really well at home. But the Seahawks DB core is maligned right now due to suspensions and injury. So I'm going to go with the Saints. Because I think that Drew Brees has the opportunity to take them apart because of the fact that they're maligned right now. So, there you have it, folks. Those are my picks for this wonderful Turkey Day weekend. Let me know what you think. Holla at your girl. Deuces.